Have a nice day. The events of the film begin with Evelyn and her best friend at one of the bars in Las Vegas because they decided to spend the weekend together. But Evelyn notices someone trying to harass the waitress, so she steps in and defends her. However, her mind becomes distracted when she spots a handsome young man and smiles as soon as she sees him. The next morning, Evelyn wakes up and finds herself asleep in the bathroom, and the same handsome young man she saw last night at the bar is standing in front of her, trying to reassure her. But Evelyn is even more surprised when she sees a wedding ring on her finger. And the same handsome young man, whose name she still doesn't know, jokes with her and tells her that he can get her a smaller ring than the one she's wearing. Evelyn doesn't remember anything that happened last night and is deeply shocked when the handsome young man tells her that they got married yesterday. Then he leaves her so she can take a shower. And after her shower, the handsome young man tells Evelyn that he'll ask his lawyer to take care of their divorce. Then he leaves, leaving her confused about what happened. Evelyn decides to return to her hometown of Portland, but she is surprised by the presence of many journalists who question her about the truth of her marriage to the artist David. And this is where we, as viewers, realize that the handsome young man Evelyn married without warning is actually the most famous singer in the entire country, and his name is David. Evelyn hides in her room with her friend, who is surprised to discover that she has been married for a month to the most handsome and famous young man in the whole country, and congratulates her on her marriage to him. People and all the media are talking about the wedding of the singer David, who broke the hearts of all the girls because of his charm. We return to Evelyn, who notices the presence of journalists in front of her house because they want to do an interview with her. While her father is surprised by what is happening, David's personal bodyguard hands the phone to Evelyn because David wants to talk to her and tells her that the procedures for their divorce will take a long time, advising her to come to his house with her bodyguard away from the press. Evelyn decides not to miss her chance and gets in the car to go to David's house, but many of David's female fans attack her and tell her that she is an ugly girl and that they don't understand why David is interested in her. Evelyn arrives at David's house, who seems to be a friendly person, and notices that he has also had her name tattooed on his hand, because Evelyn had discovered that she too had gotten his name tattooed on a part of her body that we can't show you. David suggests that Evelyn stay with him in his house until the divorce proceedings are over and tells her to do whatever she likes in her room. And later, Evelyn gets bored of staying alone in her room and decides to go downstairs, but she accidentally runs into David's brother, whose name is Jimmy, without knowing that he is her husband David's brother. Jimmy tries to get to know Evelyn, but David shows up and threatens to cut off his hand if he gets close to her again. And it seems that David is jealous of Evelyn, to the point of asking her not to leave her room. And the next morning, a girl named Marta, who works with David in the band, tries to wake Evelyn up because the lawyers have arrived. Evelyn sits down with the lawyers, who hand her the divorce papers and asks her not to talk about the details of their marriage in the media because she could face severe penalties if she did. And the unexpected surprise is that he offers her $10 million in exchange for not claiming any additional amount nor half of David's fortune, and asks her to disappear from public view with her baby if she becomes pregnant by David. Evelyn opposes all of this and says that she will not let anyone buy or sell her because she wants to divorce without asking for anything, as she absolutely does not care about money. Then she leaves, but runs into David's friend from the band, who notices that she's crying. He takes her to his place and talks to her about David, telling her that all the girls admire him and advising her to get closer to him and get to know him better. David arrives at his friend's place looking for Evelyn, but his friend tells him exactly what happened and asks him why he asked for a divorce from Evelyn, since she seems like a nice girl to him. David tells him that it was Evelyn who asked for the divorce, and that he thought she was different from other girls. And it seems that Evelyn heard everything and appears in front of David and his friend, who tells her that he didn't know she was the one who asked David for a divorce. David sees his name tattooed on Evelyn's body because the photo has been circulating on social media. Evelyn is sad because the photo of the tattoo, which is in a forbidden area of her body, is being shared, and she wonders why she married David after just one night. Then she goes on a road trip with him and they stop to buy strawberries. David asks Evelyn to stay with him at home while she makes her final decision about their marriage. But Evelyn asks him how they first met. David replies that they talked together at the bar and that he felt something different with her and that she is the girl who suits him. Then Evelyn suggested that he come with her to her room. Then he promises her that he will consider her only as a friend. Evelyn agrees to return to David's house, who carries her, and they enter the house. David sits down in front of the view and Evelyn sits next to him and asks him to tell her exactly what happened after he helped her leave the room on the night of their wedding. David tells her that they talked and decided to take an important step in their lives. Then he tells her that it's time to sleep. David tells Evelyn about his life, saying that he came from a poor family and became rich after founding his musical group. Evelyn says that she also comes from a modest family, but she studied architecture. And the next morning, David gives Evelyn expensive clothes, but Evelyn is surprised by how costly they are. Evelyn's head hits the wood and she remembers what really happened between her and David before their wedding. When she tells him that she recalled they were in the river and David pretended not to know how to swim. And suddenly the doorbell rings, announcing the arrival of David's married friends who have come to support David and check on him. David introduces Evelyn to his friends who work with him in the band, and during dinner, we notice the looks of tenderness and mutual love between David and Evelyn. Then they enjoy their time together, and at night, David tells Evelyn that he has no intention of divorcing her, and it seems that Evelyn shares the same opinion. And the next day, the wife of David's friend, she talks to Evelyn and tells her that she has never seen David as happy as he is today. David's friend's wife takes Evelyn to the bar to have some fun together, and she meets a man who tries to bother Evelyn, but David arrives at just the right moment and defends her, getting into a fight with the man. His friends then take him out of the bar because he's angry. Afterwards, they go home with Evelyn and ask her why she let that man approach her and why she didn't tell them she was going out. Evelyn responds to David by telling him that she is not his property, and then they have a friendly argument. Evelyn contacts her best friend, who tells her that everyone who knows David is aware that his self-confidence has been shaken since he was young because he was shocked when his girlfriend cheated on him with his brother. And since that moment, David has closed himself off to love and focused only on his work. The next morning, David and Evelyn make pizza together and get to know each other better. David receives an important call inviting him to travel to Los Angeles as soon as possible. And after he arrives, David finds Marta, who doesn't seem to appreciate Evelyn's presence with David, who then takes Evelyn to a private spot in the theater to watch the musical performance. The party begins and Evelyn sees David playing the guitar, while Marta stands next to her and tells her that she has known David for a long time. Evelyn notices that Marta is wearing the same earring on her ear that David is wearing on his, but she ignores it and heads to the restroom, only to be stopped by Marta's brother. Evelyn forcefully pushes the door open and sees David in an embarrassing situation with Marta. David tries to explain the truth about what happened to Evelyn, who leaves the place with her bodyguard, devastated. And after a month, Evelyn returns to her job at the cafe, then goes out to have fun at a bar. But she is surprised to see David, who tries to catch up with her and tells her that he couldn't contact her all this time because he was busy. Evelyn asks David to forget everything that exists between them because he cheated on her with Marta. Then she leaves him and walks away. And the next day, after finishing work, David visits Evelyn again, who agrees to go home with him. But David takes her to a restaurant to eat the same pizza he had made with her at his place. Evelyn tells David that she no longer trusts him and asks him not to try to get close to her. The next morning, the romantic David was waiting for Evelyn outside her work and tried everything he could to win back her love. He didn't want to stay away from her and watched her for several days until the day Evelyn felt that David wouldn't leave her alone. Then she goes with him to a cafe where David explains to her exactly what happened between him and Marta. David tells her that he has known Marta for a long time because she was the one who started his band with him, and that they were in love at one point, but they broke up. He assures her that it was Martha who caught him in the bathroom, except that he takes off the earring he's wearing. He holds to his ear the one that connected him to Martha to express his love to Evelyn, who understands what happened and accepts his apology. At work, Evelyn is surprised by Martha's arrival, who has come to apologize to her and tells her that she thought she could win David's love back for herself, but unfortunately, she didn't succeed. Because David is in love with Evelyn to the point that he wrote 2 songs about her and bought a house in the same city where she lives. To stay by his side, Evelyn visits David at the recording studio and tells him that she heard he wrote songs about her and that he also bought a house in her city. David tells Evelyn that he'll let her hear the song when the time is right. And the next day, Evelyn gives David a wedding ring as a sign of her agreement to officially marry him. And on the day of the celebration, David says he will sing a song for his dear beloved, whom he cannot live without. And the film ends with David singing his beautiful song while Evelyn enjoys the song that tells the story of their love.